moving for now. Now, we're going to totally change directions here, okay? Now, and this is this is off topic, but it does tie into the main point. Now, when I build my customized eating programs for people, and even the training programs too, the biggest factor I take into consideration is your somatotype. That's how to pronounce it, somatotype. And I don't want to spend a ton of time on this, but I want to touch on it more than briefly, okay? Now, I'm not going to show pictures of every type, but I want to give a brief description. So really focus now. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me on this. You have the endomorph, okay? That is basically, think of Miss Santa Claus, Miss Claus. You know, a warm, cuddly, friendly, you know, probably chubby, even obese woman that is predisposed to higher body fat. These two women here are great examples. These would be endomorphs. A mesomorph is a genetically muscular person that usually has lower body fat levels. They're very rare, okay? Lastly is an ectomorph. They're more of a tall, thin, narrow clavicles, narrow hips, and usually leaner, but not always. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen men or women that are tall and thin. Well, they don't have to be tall, but they might be. Whatever, they're thin, and they have thin arms and thin legs, but they might have a chubby belly. And I mean, you probably have seen people like that. So now, catch me now. Watch this. Follow me. Only about 5% of the population is a pure, P-U-R-E, pure somatotype. Okay? Most people, in fact, the overwhelming majority, are a combination of two. You can't be a combination of three, but you can be a combination of two. Now, follow me now. There's a 3-digit grading scale that the godfather of metabolic typing, Dr. I think William Sheldon, coined. And it's a 3-digit grading scale. All right? The first digit represents endomorph, second digit, so the middle digit represents meso, and the third represents ectomorph. Okay, so each person would have a 3-digit grading scale. Now, you grade the person, you rate them in each digit corresponding to the somatotype, how much they are like that somatotype on a scale of 1 to 7, with 7 being the highest, or the most likely they are like it, and 1 being the lowest. So you have to at least have a 1 there. You can't have a 0. And so if only 5% of the population are a pure somatotype, then that would be a 7-1-1 or a 1-7 or a 1-7-1, or it would be 2 1s and a 7 in any particular order. Now, these are just I just threw 2 random examples, and these are not for these women here. These do not correlate. I just said these random women here. Now, follow me. Who here saw that photo I just posted on my Facebook page before I started the webinar? Say aye. Type it in if you saw it. It was the woman, actually she was probably a freshman in college, and she was like ripped. She was skinny, but she was ripped. Okay, Claudia said she saw it. Katie saw it. And that girl, watch me now, I'm going to describe her in a minute, and I'm going to explain how she built her muscle. She gained 30 pounds of muscle earlier this year, and there's a write-up on her, and I actually had an article I posted on her on my Facebook page a few months ago. And she actually spoke at my church a couple weeks ago. So I didn't meet her, but it's a big church. But I definitely saw her there, and she I don't know what she weighs in this first photo, but let's look at her the top part of her. Now, you're not a mesomorph, and here's why I put that. Is that I can't tell you how many people read my article, which I posted over a year ago, called Metabolic Typing for the Mortal Woman. And the pictures aren't even up there anymore. The article's up on my message board, but the pictures from, I think, Photo Bucket are deactivated. I need to get the pictures reactivated. But it's a great article, and I talk about this. And I can't tell. I must have had a bunch of girls email me saying, "Oh, I'm a mesomorph. I gain muscle so easily." Oh, no, you don't. Believe me, I'm going to show you a mesomorph. Believe me. Let me show you what this girl isn't even a mesomorph, and I'm going to explain why in a minute. I'm going to explain why for everything, but I have to chuckle at these, and forgive me, ladies, but I'm going to play hardball here. How many of these chunky, moderately chunky, slightly, moderately, if you can say that, muscular women, I get their photos, and they're like, oh, trust me, you're not even in the same galaxy as a mesomorph. And I don't say that to be pejorative, okay? I'm not saying that to be pejorative here. I'm saying that to just to be factual, okay? So many women think, oh, I'm going to build muscle. I can assure you, this woman built muscle. You're not going to build guns like this woman. Now, let's talk about why I graded her at a 164. Now, remember, 1 is endomorph, which is, the higher body fat predisposed. The second digit refers to the mesomorph, which is the muscle builder, the muscular person. And the 4 refers to ecto. Now, she's a tall, thin girl in the photo, but look how lean. I mean, the girl's basically got an 8-pack. Look at her delts. You don't see this on women. The delt bicep tie-in. I know it's not a clear photo. It's kind of off to the side, but my point is that I've been around in the gym long enough and worked with enough college athletes and figure fitness and general fitness people. You don't see this on 19-year-old girls, okay? So she was ripped. She had the muscle. She was just thin, and she hadn't come anywhere near muscular maturity. And what happened was she basically, started taking, I don't know what kind of weight gain shakes they were. I don't know the brand name, but I've seen, let me finish my story. And she put on about 30 pounds. Now, you're like, well, why did she gain pure muscle? If I did that, or if you're probably saying, well, if I did that, I'd just get fat. Well, you probably would. You don't have her genetics. Now, if you're a 164 somatotype, you can do this. And here's why. She had a rapid-fire, super-fast metabolism. Her body was begging for a surplus in quality calories. So when she got it, her body just repartitioned those calories like crazy. And I don't know if she ate fast food or what, but she probably just took in a bunch of, some kind of weight gain shake and just ate more food. But my point is that she's one of these people, and you're like, well, that's impossible. You can't gain 30 pounds of muscle drug-free. Look, you can. You can't. I couldn't, but I played college football for 4 years, a full scholarship athlete at the Division I BCS level. And I was a strength coach at Florida, the Florida Gators, for a year. And I was and being a player and a coach, I saw freshmen come in that were skinny but ripped, and had muscle. And then, that first off season, they'd pack on 20, 30 pounds of pure grade A muscle. You're like, well, how is that possible? Well, number one, they're made by a different... Nature broke the rules on them, let's just say. They have superior genetics. You or I don't have that. And second of all, they were so underfed in high school and at home and ate such garbage food that when they get to college and they eat from a college training table and are given, shakes and weight gain and protein shakes after every workout, recovery shakes, they're given a surplus of calories and they're training hard as hell. So that's how this happens. Now, she's not even a pure mesomorph. She's not. Well, why wasn't she? Well, look how skinny she was here. A pure mesomorph, would have been jacked up from the get-go. Now, I'm about to show you a picture of a pure mesomorph, okay? This is a pure female mesomorph. Now, she is a 171. Now, I've met this girl. She actually lifts weights at a gym I used to go to. I don't go to that gym anymore. But I actually saw her earlier this year a few times, looking weights. She actually looks small in this photo. She's probably 5'8". I don't know what she weighs, 150 maybe, 155, 160. But she's bigger and looks almost just as ripped in person. And she overtrains. I mean, I remember she was doing back one day earlier this year. She must have done 6 exercises for back. I mean, it's like, this is ridiculous, And if you did that, or if I did that, we'd overtrain and we wouldn't get much progress. But in a, when someone like this, that is a 171 pure mesomorph, you don't have the luxury she does, okay? And you should never copy what someone like this does. The rules don't apply to a 171 mesomorph, okay? They don't apply. They apply to me or you or everyone else, okay? You don't have this blessing or curse, and I put a blessing or a curse because some women who are terrified of getting big, they wouldn't want to have this blessing, or a curse in their opinion, but for some women it'd be a blessing. But my point I'm making is that now check this out. She used to run track for UGA, the same school that the other girl was a cheerleader for. This girl. Now, I've seen a track photo of her from back when she ran track, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, whatever it was. And obviously she wasn't quite this big, but she was still ripped and muscular. She wasn't as skinny as the other girl, so, but, she obviously wasn't quite this big. She had more time to develop and, key on just pure muscle growth. And my point is that I wanted to show these two women as an example is that these are women that could possibly have to worry about getting too big, okay? You don't have to worry about getting too big, okay? Now, you do have to worry about getting too big if you don't eat right. Let me repeat that. You do have to worry about getting too big if you eat too much, okay? If you're eating smart, healthy food and you lift weights the right way, you're not going to get your arms too big, all right? I can promise you. So, with that being said, does anybody have any questions? Do you guys see the genetic gap that's between you and these two women? And I'm not saying that to be pejorative here. I'm not saying that to belittle you. I'm saying that to shed light on a topic that so many folks are delusional on. And it goes both ways. It's some women that don't want to get big, and it also goes for the ones that do want to grow muscle. They're like, well, why don't my delts pop out? Because you don't have her genetics, or you don't have her genetics. You'll never have arms like this woman. I promise you. But that's okay. You can still do your best. Let's move on. And I got a great quote here, and I actually put this on my Facebook page this morning. I put, your body burns fat and builds muscle when you rest. Off days are your friend. Okay? So, when people sign up with me, and this is JJ, and she signed up,